What's good, Fight Family, and welcome back to another episode of Combat X with Alan Dawson. And I'm excited to bring today's guest to you because he's one of the most exciting fighters in boxing. He's got that dog in him. He's a throwback to what made boxing great in the 1980s. This is Combat X, Tszyu. Welcome to the show, champ. How you doing?
Yeah, good. I like the little introduction. Sounds pretty good.
It's all true. It's all true. I mean, everyone kind of knows your backstory already, but for anyone who doesn't, you know, Tim is the son of 𝐂𝐸𝐸. He's a Hall of Fame fighter with wins over Roger Mayweather, Julius Caesar Chavez, and Zab Judah. So in the spirit of father-son duos in boxing, I think the first thing we're going to do, champ, is blind rank the best father-son duos in boxing. I've got 7 names for you. All right, so here you go. Number 1. Chris Eubank Sr. and Chris Eubank Jr. 1 to 7. Where are you going to put them?
6.
Nigel Benn and Conor Benn.
5.
Julius Caesar Chavez Sr. and Jr.
Oh, damn. That's a tough one, man. Because one's crazy. The other one's at the other level. I'll give, just because Senior's a legend, I'll give it to number 3 for him.
Nice. Floyd Sr. and Floyd Jr.
Number 2.
𝐂𝐸𝐸 and Tszyu.
It's a work in progress, number 3.
You've had 3, haven't you? That was Julio. The Chavezes.
Oh, right. Number 4.
So we've got 2 left. You've got 1 and...
Number 7.
Ricky Hatton and Campbell Hatton.
Number 7.
And we're gonna. This is probably the great way. You've got number 1 for last. We're gonna mix it up a little bit. This is a father-daughter, Muhammad Ali and Layla Ali.
Gotcha. Number 1. I'll give it up.
So you and me, we've spent a bit of time in camp in Las Vegas. I've come in to see you train and spar a few times, and one of the things I've gotten from you through that, with you being, you know, Russian, Australian, vacationing in Thailand, training in the US, you're a real man of the world. You know, travel I think is important to you, whether it's visiting new, interesting, cool places. So if we're going to do a show called like Traveling with Tszyu, you know, what would be your 3 bucket list destinations and activities that you really want to experience, you know, that you've got left to experience? You know, what's left for you around the world that you really want to see and do?
Post-career, I'd say smoke a cigar in Amalfi Coast.
Oh, that's nice.
While drinking a little espresso macchiato, that'd be up there.
Yeah.
After my career. What else is there?
Well, you're still thinking, why after the career? Is it just no smoking?
I'm a man of discipline and ambition. Yeah. Like, there's nothing exterior that can lead me away from my focus.
You drink caffeine though, right?
Yeah. Another one would be like an Eastern European country, like experiencing a Russian outdoor sauna in the cold and jumping into the snow somewhere like that.
You're not going to end up wrestling a bear like Khabib Nurmagomedov, are you?
Nah, I'm staying away from bears and stuff like that. I've already got bitten by a dog, that's enough.
When was that?
Before my fight with a 𝐀𝐛𝐨𝐿. I got, just here.
Jesus.
One more. Another destination, I'd say, tipping some coconuts in Mexico.
Yeah. Have you been there yet?
I've been to Mexico City, but want to go on the coast. It'd be beautiful.
I feel like you've got an affinity with Mexico because people have compared you to Mexican fighters.
I don't know, man. Like, Mexico's really been a little bit of an influence in my life, you know, especially in the boxing scene and the culture and the food as well.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food? Just, I'm a simple guy, red meat. Some nice steak.
What about barbecue? You into barbecue?
Yeah, oh man, every Saturday.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing that Australians and Americans have got in common, just the love of barbecue. Both nations do it really well. In Britain, we tend to, it just comes at you and most of it is charred or burned.
Oh, no.
So a few questions like for you now, Timbo. What's the backstory with your nickname, the Soul Taker? Where did that come from?
I think it came from a journalist in Australia, Ben Damon. I think he made it up and it sort of stuck by me. And I remember I was saying stuff like, I'm ready to take their souls out. So that's where it sort of came from.
And Bakram Murtazaliyev's the next one.
And another soul taken. To be taken.
Yeah. Were there any substantial discussions about relocating this fight from Orlando to Las Vegas just because of the impacts of Hurricane Milton?
Could have been going on, but I'm really, like, my manager and everyone sort of keeps me really, like, not informed. They just let me do my thing.
Were you following the news at all? Did it like enter your mind? Like
Every day, man. It was like every breakfast, lunch, dinner. It was on the TV. I was seeing what was happening.
I saw some comments from your promoter, the CEO George Rose, about like some of the weather that has been severe in Australia. But have you ever lived through anything like that?
No. I don't think we've had hurricanes like that. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy what the people have to experience. That's, beyond.
I saw, like, if you were following the news, did you come across this guy, Lieutenant Dan, on Twitter? It was like he refused to evacuate with everyone else. I think he was in the bay. He was in one of the marinas in Tampa in like this small boat, and he stayed the whole time, and he survived. And he just kept on popping his head out. I think he lived through like 15 hours of just craziness, and now he's lived to tell the tale.
Wow. Well, that's a first-hand experience right there. That's pretty cool.
What sounds better to you when I know legacy is really important, and you're hunting down some, you've got like a sneakily good resume already, and you're just kind of adding to it with these fights that you're seeking out. When it comes to legacy, what sounds better to you? Continually winning as a champion in the same division for years, like Bernard Hopkins at middleweight, or collecting belts in multiple weight classes, whether they're 154, 160, 168?
Yeah, multiple. Definitely multiple. I think it's just you can't stay at one division for a long time, especially with your body. Like over the time you get more muscles and you outgrow your weight division.
How long do you think you've got left at 154?
Man, it just depends on. I've still got a bit of time left, especially now it's red hot. Like I'll be sweet.
One promoter who speaks really highly of you is Samson Lukovic, Sebastian Fundora's representative. He says he's got a handshake agreement with you and your team about the rematch. Obviously, that was one of the fights of the year in March. He said he wants to make you and Sebastian a lot of money. Have you spoken to those guys recently? Is that a fight that can happen in the next 3 to 6 months? Because, Fundora was linked with Crawford. I don't think that fight's happening. Your fight with Bakram is really coming up. So, if you emerge unscathed from that fight, is that a fight that could happen next?
I don't think next. I think there's discussions with him and Errol Spence. Look, the boxing dynamics change, but man, whatever fight sort of just is the easiest one to make and the one that's gets people excited, then you know what, you know who to call.
Tim, I think like we could matchmake you with anyone, and I think it's going to be an exciting fight. Virgil Ortiz, that fight could probably be revisited. Bakram is obviously going to be a banger as well. Has that always been in you, even when you were an amateur, just to kind of, take souls and fight the way you do, where, when I've watched you spar, you're almost like a Terminator, that you can take shots, but the way that you come back again and again and then just kind of destroy people in the end.
Yeah. That's one of my style's all about. It's making it really uncomfortable for my opponent and bringing the dog out of them.
And with your coach, Igor, he coached your dad as well, right? Do you have any memories of Igor when you were a kid?
Look, Igor knew me since birth. He's my uncle, so family affair, yeah. And he was part of my dad's team. He came from Russia with my dad, so they sort of understood, and he got all his training methods through him. So yes, I got a Soviet Union hybrid type style.
I don't think you'd ever leave Igor, is that right? There's the trainer-pupil bond, but then there's also the familial, the family bond as well, right?
I've got everyone in my team, they're like this with me, man. We're day ones, and that's a good feel when you have that type of loyalty and connection with everyone. So that means more to me.
What do you think is the biggest learning from Igor, whether it's something in life or something in boxing? What do you think he's taught you the most?
He's like an engineer, like very, very smart, very caring, and we all of us boys, we don't just, we live with each other, we live together, we live in the same house.
What about your dad? What's the kind of number one learning you've had from Kostya, whether it's something in life or something in boxing?
Yeah, I remember him always saying the 3 words, never give up, and that always sticks in my mind, especially when you're completely tired or when stuff doesn't go your way. Those three words always come in the top of my head.
Did you think of that during the Fundora fight when you must have been like visually impaired with all the blood streaming?
No, not really. You know what? I was never really in a bad situation. Like I wasn't hurt ever. I feel like I wasn't getting hit with, I wasn't getting rocked or anything. You know what? I was getting a couple of jabs to the top of my head, which kept the blood pouring down, whatever it is, what it is. And that's what I felt.
Perfect. And the last one, what do you, for anyone watching this on Roku, on Prime Video, what message do you have for fans with this fight coming up, October the 19th, Orlando?
Just a reminder of the real 154-pounder king who's there.
That's a great way to finish it. Appreciate you joining me, Tim. That was Combat X, Tim Tszyu. Thanks a lot, champ.
Appreciate it, man.